In today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys 24 things that I've learned / am leaving / I'm taking with me in 2024. Also, Bo says hello. Number one is to stop allowing and tolerating people in my life who just lack self-awareness and just don't take accountability for their lives. I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what? I just don't want to anymore. And I just don't have energy. Moving forward, I really want to align with people who are just self-aware. It's also just like draining as well, being around people who constantly project and aren't just self-aware of their actions and how they move throughout life. And at my big age, the work that I've gone through to really work on myself, I feel like I just want to align myself with other people who are also on that same path. Number two, showing up more authentically when it comes to just like showing all the different facets of myself and the versions of myself. I don't know why, but I used to be so shy and just nervous to really like show every side of myself, especially when it came to like, I guess having new friends, I would say. When it comes to just like having my little quirks, I'm into like nerdy things like gaming or being a Disney adult or my love for musical theater. Like those things can come off as, I guess, being perceived as cringe or nerdy, but I don't really care. It's things that I love. It's a part of myself. It's a part of me. And I feel like last year I really stepped into that and didn't care about what people thought about me when it comes to like those things. And if I'm doing so, like I've met so many people who are also into those things as well too. It makes room for just more deeper connections. And again, just showing up more authentically as myself. Number three is properly vetting friendships. For me, I'm someone who kind of like grew up not having a lot of friends. I've moved around so many times in my life. So I never really had a consistent group of people and my particular friend group and whatnot. So I feel like with that, I never really learned how to navigate friendships properly until my adulthood. I'll just be friends with anybody without properly vetting to see if we are even aligned. Like I would just allow anybody in my life. And then later down the road, things would happen and the friendship would kind of fall apart. And I really took the time to properly vet who I have around me. When you don't, I feel like you end up in friendships where there's like projections, there's insecurities that are being projected onto you. There's weird behaviors. There's like a lot of things that happen. So just making sure that people that I have around me actually belong in my life. Number four is getting control of my finances. That's pretty much self-explanatory. Last year, I was definitely like in la la land and being like abundance mindset. And then I look back on my bank account and I'm like, what even happened? So yeah, just taking more control of my finances. That's pretty self-explanatory. Number five is that time is precious. This one really hits home for me because I feel like last year was the first year where I was aware of like, oh my gosh, my parents are getting older. And people always say that, you know, when you're in your 20s, seeing your parents get older is like a really difficult thing to experience. But I really didn't experience that until last year. So last year was like a reminder to myself to really just hold my family members dear and really be intentional with spending more time with them because time goes by like so quick. Number six is betting on myself when it comes to going after my dreams. This one I really learned as well in 2024. I think it's so important to really just challenge yourself and put things in place to where you prove yourself wrong. A big thing with me was like going after, I guess, my content creation seriously. In the past, it was more so of a hobby for several years, but this was the first year where I actually created a strategy plan. I actually had a posting schedule. I put things and plans and in motions to be able to really like take myself seriously and stop making like almost excuses for myself. And I feel like it's paying off so far and I'm excited to see where I go with it. Okay, number seven, you create your reality / your perspective. I think everything is all about perspective. Something that can be perceived as bad can be perceived as something good for somebody else. And I feel like I really leaned into that last year as well too, of just really thinking from an optimistic mindset and thinking of possibilities and looking at life from a glass half full versus half empty. Number eight is that you're allowed to change your mind. I thought I was so set like on who I was when I was maybe 25, 26. And 27, when I turned 27, I don't know what happened, but literally everything just like changed to where I started thinking differently. My mindset was starting to change. Yeah, just giving myself space to know that it's okay to change your mind on things. Number nine, discipline is self-love. This is such a big thing as well too, because there's moments to where I don't really feel like, going to the gym. I don't really feel like showing up when it comes to like being consistent with my routines and my habits or whatever. But remembering that my routines and my discipline is leading me towards success and a better life for myself and helps me feel overall just good. But doing these things is a reminder that I'm doing it for myself. It's not a punishment, but it's more so an act of self-love. Number 10, it's better to be alone than in bad company. I really stepped into JOMO, which is the joy of missing out last year, and I want to continue that for next year. Number 11, don't wait for others to do things. Going on my solo trips last year and just really just doing things on my own time and my own term. And now I feel like I'm at the place to where there's something that I see that I want to attend to, maybe an experience or whatever that I want to have. I don't ever think about, oh, who can I find to come with me to have this experience? I've really changed my mindset to like, oh my gosh, I want to have this experience. I want to go to this place and I'm going to go whether anybody comes with me or not. Number 12 is to stop over explaining myself. I'm leaving that in 2024. No is no. Okay, that is that. I feel like last year I definitely caught myself having to like over explain myself if I don't want to go to a party or if I don't want to go to a certain event or a gathering. I don't need to explain myself to anybody. No is no. If I can't go to an event, just accept that. But like I'm no longer over explaining myself, my point of views, my opinions, unless it's asked for. And that's that. Number 13 is that someone that you met today can be a better friend to you than someone that you've known for years. I've met so many quality people, I feel like last year, and they really hold a special place in my heart. It also reminds me to really give myself the opportunity to really just open myself up to new people. Number 14 is that only my reality matters. I feel like when you're someone who's very confident in themselves, like people get triggered by that. They don't really like that. People will literally hate you. And that's just fact. People will project their own limitations onto you and their own fears onto you. But just a reminder that like only my reality matters because what I feel and how I think about myself really only matters to me. Number 15, it's never too late to experiment with your fashion style, your skincare routine. It's always okay to really just reinvent yourself. Number 16, just because you're bad at something doesn't mean that you can't be a learner of it and just really grow and expand on whatever it is that you're trying to learn. Everything takes practice. I wanted to be a plant mom for the longest, and I would kill every single plant that I owned when I first started getting plants or whatever. I just didn't know how to take care of plants. But last year I was like, you know what? I'm going to actually take time, learn how to care for plants. And now I have plants that are thriving right now, but it's like, would I have gotten to this point if I just gave up and was like, oh, I'm just not a plant person. I just don't have a green thumb. No, I took the time and I learned and I improved. Number 17 is to continue getting out of my comfort zone. So really having new experiences, putting myself out there to really get uncomfortable because that's where real growth happens. Number 18 is to be around people who inspire me and uplift me. Number 19 is that you have to let go to make room for new. Number 20 is to know your worth in every aspect. Not every opportunity is a good opportunity. And really just holding in on my morals, my values. Number 21 is to keep being consistent. The reward will eventually pay out. Like when it came to my social media journey this year, I was consistent throughout the whole year, but I didn't really see the fruits of my labor until literally December. Everything just kind of took off and I started getting more brand deals. I started getting more opportunities. So a reminder to myself that even though it doesn't happen right now, as long as you keep being consistent, it will eventually pay off. Number 22 is accepting that your friends and your family aren't going to really understand or sometimes even support your visions or your dreams. Sometimes there will be strangers who support you more than your own family sometimes, and I've had to accept that. And it doesn't always mean that they don't love you or care for you. They're just not capable of understanding where you're trying to go when it comes to your dreams. And that's just that. So reminding myself to really stay locked in on my vision for myself and believing in myself. Number 23 is don't force friendships. It's okay to let friendships just fizzle out and just let it be. I think in the past, I always kind of hold on to friendships, even though they were at its like end point. And because I was holding on so much, those friendships kind of ended up leaving on a bad note. So for me, just remembering that it's okay to let friendships have their seasons and to let things naturally subside instead of just forcing it because of the longevity of the friendship. Number 24 is to continue to trust the process and to remember that small growth is still growth. I didn't realize how much I've grown in my just overall journey of 2024 until I actually looked back on my planner and my journals from beginning of this year. And I was like, wow, I've grown so much. It's hard to see that growth when you're in that certain season, I guess. Like it's hard for you to see it when you're in that moment. But when you put the comparison from beginning of the year to now, that's when you really notice a difference. Just remembering that small growth is still growth and that I should overall just be proud of that, of how far I've came to get to the end of the year. That is the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Very different for me. And normally I have my videos, obviously I'm in a different space, different setup, but I think I want to start a new series where I have like cozy girl chat, just sit down, kiki, talk about whatever is on our mind and whatnot. So let me know if you guys like this type of format, laid back, more cozy vibes. Comment down below one thing that you've learned taking/leaving in 2024 down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys for another video next week. Bye.